Yeah. So let us solve some problems. Questions? Now take this one as a note, okay? I mean, in case of paramagnetism problem, so probability of E plus, I mean spin up, that's equal to e raised to beta mu h, am I right? E plus will be negative, that's why negative of negative, divided by e raised to beta mu h plus e raised to minus beta mu h. In case of spin half particle in external magnetic field, is that okay? Spin half particle in external magnetic field, because I found this one somewhere, okay? I mean somewhere means either CSIR, gate, just or TFR, okay? I mean yeah. So that is probability of spin up, probability of spin up. Probability of spin down, e raised to minus beta mu h divided by e raised to beta mu h plus e raised to minus beta mu h, am I right? So when h tends to 0, magnetic field tends to 0, so t tends to infinity, so beta mu h tends to 0. If it tends to 0, so probability of spin up, that will tends to half, probability of spin down, that will tends to half. Is that okay? So probability of spin down, that will tends to half. You can check it out, am I right? E power 0 by 1 plus 1, e power 0, e power 0, like that will happen, okay? And you can't expect any magnetization, because probability of spin up is same as probability of spin down, isn't it? And net magnetization is equal to 0, just like average displacement in case of random walk problem was 0, am I right? If P equal to Q equal to half, what is your average displacement? M bar into L. Actually, I haven't connected this one to random walk problem. I could have connected that one, but it's because we got other route to find physical quantities, okay? Yeah. So, I mean, if M mean was equal to N into P minus Q, am I right? If P equal to Q, this is equal to 0, isn't it? Same thing will happen in this case. There will be no net magnetization in this situation. Yeah. So take it as a note, okay? And in this case, wait a second, what is the entropy? Suppose there are n spin-off atoms. What is the entropy? How do you find entropy? Number of microstates. Now, how do you find number of microstates? Now, since they are equally probable, equally likely, you can use your principle of counting, isn't it? So, you got n atom. Each atom can occupy 2 states, either spin up or spin down. That becomes Kb 2 power n. Am I right? That is your maximum entropy. Is that okay? So, here I was talking about one spin-off atom, okay? One spin-off atom, what would happen to its probability? Here I am talking about if there are n spin-off atom, you will get maximum entropy when you increase temperature to a very high value and when you decrease the magnetic field. Yeah, so write it down here. H tends to 0, T tends to infinity. In that situation, you will attain maximum entropy. Yeah, let us quickly solve problems from Reef so that I can get into MIT Princeton question. 6.1. A simple harmonic one-dimensional oscillator has energy level En is equal to n plus half h bar omega. Obviously, quantum harmonic oscillator, isn't it? Energy levels are n plus half h bar omega. So 6.1, okay. Quantum harmonic oscillator. Yeah, omega is a characteristic frequency of the oscillator and so on. N equal to 0, 1, 2. Suppose such an oscillator is in thermal contact with heat reservoir T, which is low, okay. KT by h bar omega, which is very much less than 1. KT by h bar omega, which is very much less than 1. That means Kt is very much less than h bar omega, okay. I'll come to this point later. In this domain, this is the domain of low temperature. When you have the domain of low temperature, you have to use quantum energy levels. Is that okay? When kBt is too high compared to h bar omega, you can use continuous energy level. That will come in the next chapter and we shall discuss that one, okay. And we shall discuss experimental consequence also. Your ordinary solids, they will show 3R specific heat, isn't it, at room temperature. But diamond will not show 3R specific heat at room temperature, because omega for diamond, if you define, I mean force constant, that would be too high. So that omega is too high, h bar omega will be too high, okay. Then we need to apply quantum for that one. We can apply classical for other one, okay. Classical energy level, okay. I am talking about energy level. Classical, we are discussing classical statistics only. Is that okay? Where you can take individual atom and you can apply your Boltzmann distribution and you can find energy, so average values for n atom, okay. Yeah, I'm talking about energy level. Okay, in this domain, you have to take quantized energy level. Is that okay? So where kBt is very much less than h bar omega. Yeah, part A, find the ratio of probability of the oscillator being in the first excited state to the probability being in the ground state. How do you write? Yeah, En is equal to n plus half h bar omega. So probability in the ground state, that is equal to, let me not write Z. I can write Z in the denominator, but you should know that one, probability proportional to e raised to minus beta E naught. That's why I am writing like this. Is that okay? You should know this is 1 by Z. Am I right? It was our partition function. Similarly, probability of being in the first excited state, that is proportional to e raised to minus beta E1. What is E naught? E raised to minus beta half h bar omega. So this is equal to e raised to minus beta 3 by 2 h bar omega. Am I right? He said ratio of probability being in the first excited state to the probability being in the ground state. P of E1 divided by. Is that okay? Sometimes it is called as Boltzmann law. Let us so discuss this one later. Is that okay? If you multiply total number of particles, they will be divided in this ratio actually. You can find ratio of number of particles also using the same probability ratio. Okay? Yeah. What is this one? E raised to beta h bar omega. E raised to beta h bar omega minus 3 by 2 minus 3 by 2 plus 1 by 2. Minus 3 by 2 plus 1 by 2. Constant of proportionality will get cancelled. Not a big deal. Assume that only ground state and first excited states are appreciably occupied. Find the mean energy of this system. Is that okay? Find the mean energy of the system. I mean, you have only two energy levels. That is the assumption. Epsilon, so E naught is equal to half h bar omega. E1 is equal to 3 by 2 h bar omega. Am I right? You have only two energy levels and find the mean energy. So how do you find? You can find Z. So from Z you can find log of Z. You can take beta derivative. Or you can do like this also. I mean, just like earlier. So what is the mean energy? So summation over R, ER, PR. Like that also you can do. Is that okay? So I prefer that partition function way. Is that okay? If only these two levels are there, then what is the partition function? E raised to minus beta half h bar omega plus e raised to minus beta 3 by 2 h bar omega. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So ln Z again. Yeah. What is ln Z? Ln of e raised to minus beta half h bar omega plus e raised to minus beta 3 by 2 h bar omega. So average energy for one particle. Okay. He is talking about only one particle. That's equal to minus dou by dou beta of. Do it yourself. E raised to minus beta half h bar omega plus e raised to minus beta 3 by 2 h bar omega into minus will go half h bar omega e raised to minus beta half h bar omega plus 3 by 2 h bar omega e raised to minus beta 3 by 2 h bar omega. Am I right? Okay. Over. Six point two. 6.2. Consider Thus, problem 3.2. Again, he's referring very old problem. N weakly interacting particle, each of spin half, magnetic moment mu, located in external field H. Suppose the system is in thermal contact with heat reservoir at absolute temperature T. Calculate the mean energy of the system. This is paramagnetism problem. We have done that one. We have done part of that one. Suppose if you want to do that one quickly, what would you do? Yeah, so he is expecting anything? I mean, you want to do any approximation here? Yeah. Yeah, he has given the condition. So, you need to do that approximation, correct, okay? Don't end it here. So proceed. So, he said h bar omega, what is that? kBt by h bar omega very much greater than 1. Or very much less than 1, or h bar omega by kBt very much greater than 1. Am I right? Very much greater than 1. Yeah, if that is very much greater than 1, will you take it too high? So this is beta h bar omega, very much greater than 1. Very much greater than 1. When that is very much greater than 1, yeah, how do you do the approximation? Outside and taking that one to denominator? Yeah, that's better. So average energy is equal to average energy. So e raised to minus beta h bar omega you have taken outside? Yeah, I have taken outside like half. Beta h bar omega by 2, half h bar omega plus I think e raised to minus beta h bar omega whole divided by again 3 by 2 h bar omega here. Am I right? 3 by 2 h bar omega e raised to minus beta h bar omega. Yeah, that's correct. Because so that you can isolate this part, you can neglect this part, isn't it? So e raised to minus beta h bar omega by 2. So 1 plus e raised to minus beta h bar omega. Yeah, there are a lot of questions on this approximation, okay? Because it is very easy, isn't it? I mean, to calculate this one, average energy, there is nothing about it. Yeah, so lot of questions. So on approximation, ultimately at higher temperature or lower temperature like that, okay? So they will mention. So again, you can see old question paper I will upload. Yeah. Now look at here, when this is too large, so this is so when you write the reciprocal, denominator is too large, and you can neglect these two quantities. Am I right? That is nearly equal to. That's nearly equal to half h bar omega. Why average energy would be half h bar omega? Yeah, how do you interpret this one? Yeah, more number. I mean, if you put the particle, if you put n number of particles, suppose you have only two energy level. What is that one? So half h bar omega. So 3 by 2 h bar omega. If you put n number of particle and if you decrease the temperature, I mean, you are taking off energy, isn't it? So I mean, all particle will start accumulating this one, okay, this state, and so probability of getting that state, I think, I mean, that would be very high, and again, average energy will be corresponds to that one, okay. You can expect that one. So, but wait a second. He said find the mean energy as a function of temperature. It became independent of temperature. Beta can be written as? No, where is beta? So can you check out solution manual? This one, this is the solution. Yeah. They ended here. Here. Yeah, then that should be, I mean, a final answer according to him, but remember, but do this kind of approximation, okay? Because in exam, you may need to do that one, okay? Most of the case. They will not ask question very directly. At the end, you have to do that approximation. So, yeah, okay, yeah, let it be, okay? And you should be able to interpret also why it turns out to be half H bar. Is that okay? At very low temperature. It means at very low temperature, so probability occupation of ground state, it is too high. So that average values itself, okay? Yeah. Again, this is to practice the method, okay? Again, you have to solve old question paper. So to get some more idea how you can answer in exam, okay? Yeah. So next one, 6.2, consider, yeah. So how do you do this problem 6.2 quickly, suppose? So take individual E plus is equal to minus mu H, E minus is equal to plus mu H, find Z for one particle, e raised to minus beta mu H plus e raised to beta mu H, am I right? So summation over all possible microstate, am I right? All possible energy level. This is 2 cos hyperbolic beta mu H. Is that okay? So now ln of Z is equal to ln of 2 cos hyperbolic beta mu H. 2 cos hyperbolic beta mu H. Or if you want to, let me do it in a different way. So total is equal to Z whole power n, am I right? So log of Z total, that's equal to n. So log of Z, what is that? Z 2 cos hyperbolic beta mu H, am I right? So that average total energy is equal to minus dou by dou beta of ln of Z total, yeah, minus n 2 cos hyperbolic beta mu H into 2 sin hyperbolic beta mu H into what's your average energy? Yeah, negative minus n mu H tan hyperbolic beta mu H, and you should know the limits. What happens to this average energy at high temperature as well as low temperature? High temperature, low magnetic field, like that, okay? Low temperature, high magnetic field, okay? Yeah, we shall try this 6.4. 6.4. A simple mineral oil is placed in an external magnetic field H. A simple mineral oil is placed in external magnetic field H. Each proton has spin half and magnetic moment mu. It can therefore have 2 possible energy he mentioned, plus or minus mu H, corresponds to 2 possible orientations of the spin, okay? 2 possible orientations of the spin. An applied radio frequency field can induce a transition between these 2 energy levels of frequency nu, satisfies Bohr condition H nu is equal to 2 mu H, because energy level gap is 2 mu H, am I right? He said kind of oil so energy levels are plus or minus mu into H, am I right? Suppose this is 0, this is minus mu H, this is plus mu H. What is the difference? Yeah, what is the difference? 2 mu H, am I right? 2 mu H is the difference. Yeah, the power absorbed from the radiation field is then proportional to difference in the number of nuclei in these 2 energy levels. Power absorbed is proportional to difference in the number of nuclei in these 2 energy levels. Shall I take it as E1 and E2? Suppose there are n1 number of nuclei here, n2 number of nuclei here. He hasn't mentioned total number. Yeah, whatever. Is that okay? Power absorbed proportional to difference in the number of nuclei in these two energy level. What is this one? Yeah, n2 minus n1 or n1 minus n2? n2 minus n1 usually, isn't it? n2 minus n1 or n1 minus n2. Absorbed, isn't it? He is talking about absorption. So absorption can occur only when this is more populated, isn't it? So that it can go here. Of course, according to Boltzmann law also, n1 will be higher. Let us show this one, okay? This all thing will come in laser theory. So do you remember? We start with the Boltzmann law. I mean, you can't have population inversion in case of two-level system, and that can be proved. Yeah. Wait a second. Assume that protons in the mineral oil in thermal equilibrium at temperature T, with which is so high that, yeah, mu h is very much less than kBt. So what do you mean by this one? Beta mu h is very much less than 1. Beta mu h is very much less than 1. So take kBt into this denominator. 1 by kBt is beta. How does absorbed power depend on temperature T of the sample? Actually, this should be mean value, okay? This should be mean value. Is that okay? If you take mean value, suppose, how do you find n1 mean value? Total number into probability of occupation of that level, am I right? Our random walk problem, isn't it? So, but this is again given by Boltzmann law. I mean, our canonical distribution law. What is this one? What is the probability of occupation of this one? Yeah, e raised to minus beta e1 divided by z. I don't need that one. Anyway, he's asking some proportionality. Okay, let us check out. Let us cross check. Okay, are you getting my point? I'll come to this formula in the next chapter. Okay, this is mean number of particle in the state 1. Okay, mean number of particle in the state 1. What is this one? Probability of occupation of state 1 multiplied with total number of particles. This is the probability of getting the one single particle. So for a one single particle, this is probability of getting the particle in energy E1. Multiply with total number, you will get average number, isn't it? So that's how all particles will distribute when you put n number of particles according to that probability distribution. Okay. Similarly, what is this one? N2 n into e raised to minus beta E2 by z. So that is equal to yeah, let me write it as one constant into what is this one? E raised to beta mu h. That's equal to some constant into e raised to minus beta mu h. Or if you remembered, probability is proportional to e raised to beta mu h. Number of particle in that level is also proportional to beta mu h. Obviously, if probability is high, number of particles will be high. Are you getting my point? But in this proportionality constant, one more quantity is there, n. Yeah, let us cross check with his answer. So just open that PDF file, okay, his solution manual. So what is this? Power absorbed, that is equal to some other constant, because this proportionality that may have other constant, into n1 minus n2, difference between these two. Am I right? What is this one? E raised to beta mu h minus e raised to minus beta mu h. Am I right? Minus e raised to minus beta mu h. Because in this proportionality, there may be other constant. He is asking only dependency. You no need to worry about this proportionality constant. Okay? Yeah. Now, what he asked, beta mu h is very much less than 1. Then what would you do? Take expansion. First two term in the expansion. E power x, 1 plus x. Okay? Or write this one in sine hyperbolic. Can you write it in sine hyperbolic? 2 sine hyperbolic beta mu h, sine hyperbolic beta mu h, that is nearly equal to beta mu h when beta mu h is very much small. You can use that approximation also, but I prefer this one. Look at here. At that instant, what you think, you have to proceed with this one. 1 plus beta mu h. Its power series expansion, only first two term, because beta mu h is very small, isn't it? Yeah, minus 1 minus minus 1 minus x, e power minus x expansion, 1 minus x, 1 minus beta mu h. Am I right? You should able to do this kind of approximation, okay? So, because there will be questions like this, so that you need to do this step, okay? So, C dash 1 minus 1 0, that becomes 2 beta mu h. So, power absorbed, that is inversely proportional to temperature. Can you just check it out? Correct? Are you getting my point? Do it again in your own way. The thing that you don't know is you haven't connected probability to number of particle in the level, isn't it? If probability of finding the particle in that energy level is more, then when you put n number of particles, they will distribute according to probability, isn't it? When you toss n coins together, so you will get head, tail, isn't it? Number of heads, number of tail according to probability, am I right? Like that. Yeah, I think 6.5, again I have to go back to my morning discussion. So let us try that one. So before that 6.5 we shall solve 6.6, 6.7, which are concerned with continuous probability, discrete probability distribution. Are you getting my point? Is that over? So actually he hasn't talked about this one, okay? This is mean number. But when you put total number, so suppose n number of nucleus, where n is equal to, so n1 plus n2, is that okay? They will distribute according to your Boltzmann law. Is that okay? So n1, I mean mean number of particle in this level, you better to call it as mean number, okay? You better to call it as mean number. Mean number of particle in that energy level, that is proportional to probability of finding the particle in that energy level. Is that okay? So that is the thing that I have used. Or you can take this idea also. So what is this one? A mean number of particle in state R, that's equal to n into probability of finding the particle in state R. So take it as a note. Is that okay? Mean number of particle in state R is equal to n into, I'm talking about, this is probability of, this is for single particle, okay? This probability definition for single particle. I have used small e. Is that okay? Yeah. Mean number of particle in state R, that's equal to total number into probability of occupation. Yeah, wait a second. This whole thing is called as occupation probability in the next chapter, okay? That average number is called sometimes occupation probability, the name. So whatever, okay? Mean number, remember. Yeah. No, actually when you sum up that one, that is proportionality constant, isn't it? That becomes tan hyperbolic. No, then also tan hyperbolic, when it is small, it tends to that one value, isn't it? Yeah. Good observation. What is the observation? Divided by Z. Z also contains beta, am I right? Yeah, that will be cos hyperbolic, isn't it? Z was cos hyperbolic in this kind of situation, and that turns out to be tan hyperbolic. But we were safe because tan hyperbolic and sine hyperbolic behave similar when that quantity is too small. Yeah, take that Z into account, okay? Take that Z into account, because maybe in this problem it was same, isn't it? Maybe we don't know other problem, so that's why take that Z into account, okay? Yeah. While finding the ratio, that Z will get cancelled. Okay. Here it is not a ratio, isn't it? It's a difference. So why I used to take that one as a proportionality constant, because somewhere we will get a ratio, so that that constant doesn't matter. I mean, even Z is same for all probability definition. Am I right? So that's why I practice that one. So just to take Z into account. Okay, divided by Z into account. Okay, yeah. If we think physically, then also probability would be inversely proportional to temperature. Probability would be inversely proportional to temperature. Probability is proportional to e raised to minus beta e. It depends on whether E is positive or negative. Okay. The question is whether, I mean, probability is inversely proportional to temperature, isn't it? I mean, probability of getting E is equal to some 1 by e raised to beta e, isn't it? No, it depends on whether energy is positive or negative. Okay, the sign does matter in that one. Yeah. Yeah. So do it with that 1 by Z term, whatever I had taken. Okay. So take this one as a note. Average number is equal to, it's just like writing, I mean, so N1 mean is equal to N into P, isn't it? Where here probability is given by our Boltzmann law. Okay. That's equal to N into e raised to minus beta ER divided by Z. Now look at here. So there are many problems like that. Problem looks too lengthy. I mean, too lengthy to read. That's it. Okay. But the problem is too simple. Remember, you have to start applying whatever you know. 6.5. I need continuous probability distribution. I need to so discuss theory. Yeah, 6.6 and 6.7 again regarding discrete probability distribution. Wait a second, I'm missing something. Yeah, in the next chapter, what we would do is, we can't define this one, probability of finding one particle in energy ER, e raised to minus beta ER divided by Z. That's what we write here, isn't it? We can't talk about this one actually in the next chapter. We can talk about this one for Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution. For quantum distribution, we can't talk about this one. We have to talk about mean number of particles in the stator directly. Is that okay? We can't talk about individual probability distribution at all. Okay, we shall discuss that one. We will write this one directly in the next chapter in case of quantum statistics, because the behavior is not individual. Okay, yeah. 6.6. A system consists of n weakly interacting particle with which can be in either of the two states, E1 and E2, where E1 is less than E2. E1 is less than E2. Is that okay? So E1, E2. Two-level system. The problem is very similar to our spin half particle, isn't it? But it will not be your tan hyperbolic, okay? Because E1 and E2 we don't know. They are arbitrary. Yeah. So without explicit calculation, make a qualitative plot of mean energy of the system as a function of temperature. Look at here. N particles are there, each particle have got this kind of energy. Is that okay? N particles are there, each particle have got this kind of energy. Then how do you do qualitative plot? Of average energy, as a function of temperature. What would you expect at very low temperature? You have each energy, each level, each particle can have this kind of energy, and you put total n number of particles in those kind of situation. Okay, yeah. My question is, what would happen if temperature is too low? Yeah. All particles will try to come to ground state. Am I right? When all particles are in the ground state, what is the average energy? N into E. Am I right? What is the average energy? N into E. Shall I write it here? N into E1. N into E1. Isn't it? So let me just put one line here. Is that okay? When temperature is too small, your average energy tends to N into E1. Am I right? Qualitative. Okay, he said like that. So next one, when temperature is too high, what would happen? Be careful here. Will all particles go to higher state? Few will go. What happens at very high temperature? Equal probability, isn't it? Equal probability, yeah. That's better. It will be better to write probability of E1 that's equal to some constant into e raised to minus beta or beta E1 divided by e raised to minus beta E1 plus e raised to minus beta E2. Am I right? Probability of getting the particle in this energy level, that's equal to e raised to minus beta E2 divided by e raised to minus beta E1 plus e raised to minus beta E2. Am I right? When temperature is too high, look at here, this will become half and half. Are you getting my point? You may feel that all particles will jump off to excited state, isn't it? No, it will not happen. If it happens, then population inversion would happen. Isn't it? In our laser system, we can have laser with only two level system. That cannot happen. Again, Boltzmann law. Is that okay? So what is the worst situation? Worst situation means what is the maximum entropy situation? Whenever you have two state system, what is the maximum entropy? When particle, the maximum entropy when n equal to n by 2, am I right? N1 equal to n by 2, N2 equal to n by 2, isn't it? How did you get that 1 by 2? Because probability of occupation becomes half. Is that okay? So now look at here, when beta is too small, e power 0, e power 0, e power 0, 1 by 2. Whatever the value of E1 and E2, it doesn't matter. Isn't it? When temperature is too high, isn't it? So now, when these two are equally probable and you are putting n number of particles, how do they distribute? N by 2, n by 2, isn't it? In that situation, what is the average energy? What is the average energy? N by 2 E1 plus n by 2 E2 is the average energy. E1 plus E2 n E1 plus E2 whole divided by 2. Is that okay? N E1 plus E2 whole divided by 2. Are you getting my point? N by 2 particles are in the ground state, n by 2 particles are in the excited state. Are you getting my point? How it happens? N by 2 happens. Yeah, that is this one. N into E1 plus E2 whole divided by 2. Am I right? So put one line here. Your energy will go from here to here as temperature is high. Now let us take derivative of this graph. So that the derivative of this graph is temperature derivative of energy, specific heat, temperature derivative of energy, that is specific heat, isn't it? I think that is the next question, okay? Dou E by dou T. Slope is 0, slope is maximum, again slope is 0, slope is 0, slope is maximum and slope is 0. I mean, don't make it symmetric. by somehow don't make it symmetric. Slope is increasing, am I right? Slope is 0 here, increasing, again it is 0. And what is this point, can you guess? What is the point where our specific heat is very high? I mean, qualitatively it is little difficult to guess, yeah, still. Yeah, can you write here if it is not visualized? So when temperature tends to 0, so N1 is equal to N, N2 equal to 0, nearly equal to. Nearly equal to 0, E1, E2, okay? As temperature tends to infinity, N1 nearly equal to N by 2, N2 nearly equal to N by 2. Is that okay? If it is not visible, if it is not visualized, write like this. Is that okay? For two-level system, this would happen. Don't ever do that mistake that all particle will jump off to higher level, okay? This is the maximum entropy situation, and we proved that one, isn't it? In case of two-level system earlier, we proved that one. N1 is equal to N by 2 for maximum entropy, and in that case, your entropy will be again N kb log of 2 or 2 power N here. Maximum entropy. Here, entropy. Yeah. Epsilon 1. Which one? Part A. Roughly near what temperature does E change from low to its high temperature limit? I mean, he's asking this one, this point actually. I mean, how it is changing, isn't it? From here to here, a kind of transition here. Am I right? If I write it is little bit sharply, that would be better. I think he may be expecting like that. Is that okay? He may be expecting this kind of curve, but I have drawn little smoothly. Is that okay? Yeah, that's what I'm asking. I'm asking the same region. Can you guess what is this temperature? Let me draw this one little smoothly only because, yeah, again we need some graphical software. If we find actual average energy, I think we need some graphical software to plot that one, okay? Even qualitatively it is easy. So if you see formula, again if you see its equation, I think that would be still difficult. Yeah. He's asking this transition temperature. Near what temperature does average E change from low to its high temperature limiting value? From here to here. I mean, I think he's drawing little sharp curve. Yeah, that's what I'm asking. At what temperature this your specific heat have got peak? Specific heat have got peak. Any idea? That will be, the temperature will be E2 minus E1 divided by Kb. Or when Kbt is equal to E2 minus E1, and actually you can find actual average energy and you can check it out. You can check it out when Kbt is equal to, for the temperature for which when Kbt is equal to E2 minus E1, it will be peak, and at that point only this will have transition from higher to lower, okay? I mean, so lower to higher. But I mean, it's little difficult to explain why that temperature, okay? Yeah, this is not lambda point, okay? Lambda point is different. It comes in condensation, phase transition. Yeah. So now part A is over, part B is over. Can you do part C? Find average energy, take again derivative, find specific heat, okay? If you have again GeoGebra, from GeoGebra again try to plot that one using explicit formula, okay? 6.7. Yeah, look at here. So when we start solving problem, we will get to know what we left in theory actually. Is it over? So last part is you have to find that one, average energy, just like we have done for other problem. I think specific heat would be little difficult. Why? Again, you have to take derivative. It will not be tan hyperbolic because you don't know E1, E2, isn't it? It will not be tan hyperbolic. If it were tan hyperbolic, you can take one more beta derivative quickly, okay? So little difficult, little lengthy, do that one. And after doing that one, so try to plot it again, okay? So 6.7. 6.7, look at that. These all are theoretical models, okay? These all are theoretical models. The nuclei of an atom in a certain crystalline solid have spin 1. According to quantum theory, the nucleus can therefore in any one of the three quantum states. Am I right? When S equal to 1, ms value equal to, yeah, ms value equal to -1, 0, +1. Am I right? -1, 0, +1. Yeah. This quantum number measure the projection of the nuclear spin along the crystal axis of the solid. Okay. Now question. Since the electric charge distribution in the nucleus is not spherically symmetrical but ellipsoidal, the energy of the nucleus depends on its spin orientation. Okay. No need to worry. Just move on. So again, one model. Energy of the nucleus depends on its spin orientation with respect to internal electric field existing at its location. Okay. So now, thus nucleus have energy. E is equal to small e. E equal to small e. So in the state, m is equal to +1 and -1. Is that okay? And nucleus have got energy 0 in the state m is equal to 0. Now you need to find partition function and all. Now what is the difference here? What is the difference here? Is that okay? Any idea? For this energy level, you got two states, 1, 1, 1, -1. That is degenerate. Is that okay? You got two distinct orthogonal eigenstate corresponds to same energy. But for this one, only one, non-degenerate, 1, 0. Okay? We haven't taken the situation of degeneracy in our probability distribution, canonical distribution. We haven't taken degeneracy concept. Okay? But this is degenerate. Am I right? You got two distinct state corresponds to. So, I mean, whatever I have written, that is SMS. I hope you remember. SMS. Okay? You got two distinct state corresponds to same energy. That is twofold degenerate. Okay? Twofold degenerate. Usually degeneracy is written by G. Okay? G equal to 2 here. G equal to 1 here. Is that okay? Since it is twofold degenerate, its probability, it should be multiplied with that G factor, that degeneracy. Is that okay? I mean, that probability of occupancy would be doubled actually. So now, so shall we rewrite our probability distribution law? So have a note here, okay? Have a note here. What is this one? Probability of finding the particle in state ER, that's equal to so that's equal to GR e raised to minus beta ER divided by summation of R GR e raised to minus beta ER. If this is the probability, this should be your normalization constant. Are you getting my point? If I say this is proportional to this one, while normalizing, this will come in the denominator. This is your partition function, where GR is degeneracy of energy level ER. Degeneracy of the energy level ER. Yeah, microstate may be degenerate, okay? Yeah, wait a second. Actually, do you remember we have done this one in case of 3-spin particle actually. We got like this, do you remember? And we found a partition function for 3 spin-off system together, isn't it? We got, look at here, minus mu h, 3 times, isn't it? We haven't taken that one as only one energy. We multiplied that one by 3. Do you remember? In the morning, I think we have done that problem, isn't it? Because there are 3 microstate corresponds to same energy. Is that okay? 3 different microstate correspond to same energy, remember? So now here I am talking about single particle state, okay? Here I am talking about single particle state. So in case of single particle state also, there may be degeneracy. So then our probability distribution will be like this. Is that okay? Yeah, this matters a lot when we discuss intensity rule in atomic spectra, okay? The degeneracy term, that matters a lot usually, okay? Yeah, so now shall we proceed with this problem? Now how do you find partition function? You better first define partition function, you can move on, okay? You don't have to again define this one. So partition function, what is this one? Summation over R, GR, e raised to minus beta ER. What is this one? First energy. You got 2 energies. Shall I write E1 and E2 like that? Better, isn't it? E1, E2, G1, G2. You got 2 energy level. So what is this one? G1 is 2. 2 into e raised to minus beta, E1 is E, plus G2 is 1, E2 is 2, 1. 1 plus 2 e raised to minus beta E, that's your partition function. Find the expression as a function of absolute temperature T of the nuclear contribution to the molar internal energy. Internal energy means average energy, okay? Average energy, I better to write E bar because we are talking about one particle. Is that okay? What is this one? Minus dou by dou beta of ln of z. Is that okay? So minus 1 plus 2, 1 plus 2 e raised to minus beta E into derivative of this one, that's equal to minus 2 e raised to minus beta E is equal to 2 e raised to minus beta E divided by 1 plus 2 e raised to minus beta E. Yeah, why it would become 2? I mean, why you have to multiply by that factor? Can you give me still strong idea? Suppose it is 3-fold degenerate, you have to multiply by 3. Am I right? Why? Equal energy. Then particle can occupy any particle can be in any of the state, isn't it? Wave function that cannot be revealed by any of our experimental output. Experimental output depends only on the energy, isn't it? Is that okay? That's why you have to add probabilities actually. That's why it becomes that much time. Okay, yeah. So anyway, we shall see that one. Look at here, average energy, then specific heat per atom or per nucleus. Okay, because yeah, minus 1 by kb t square dou by dou beta of average energy. Yeah, find entropy also. Okay, I don't know whether he asked specific heat or not. I just found he asked entropy, not specific heat. Okay, yeah, whatever. Do both of them. Find all physical quantities. So how do you find entropy? Entropy is equal to kb log z plus beta into average energy. Am I right? kb log of 1 plus 2 e raised to minus beta e plus beta into what is average energy? That whole thing. 2e raised to minus beta e whole divided by 1 plus 2e raised to minus beta e. Now he is asking some limit. Okay. At very low temperature, he is asking at very low temperature, look at here, part C of the question. By directly counting total number of accessible states, calculate the nuclear contribution to the molar entropy of the solid at very low temperatures. Calculate also for very high temperature. Show that the expression in part B reduces properly this value when T tends to 0, T tends to infinity. Yeah, we found that one expression. So what would you do? T tends to 0. So how do you do those assumptions? Look at here, wait a second. Just concentrate on this expression. You need to do T tends to 0 assumption and T tends to infinity assumption. Isn't it? When T tends to 0, beta tends to infinity. E raised to infinity, you can neglect this part. Am I right? And log of 1, that's nearly equal to 0, isn't it? That nearly equal to 0. What would happen to this one? 0, isn't it? Because average energy as expected, all particles will try to come to this state, isn't it? That would be 0. Again, entropy would be 0, isn't it? At lower temperature limit. At very high temperature limit, look at here. Now, what would you expect at very high temperature limit? How many levels you have? How many levels you have? 2 or 3? For entropy, it doesn't matter how energy levels are separated. It doesn't matter how many states are there, isn't it? Yeah, we shall do that one. For higher temperature limit, we shall do what would happen. Okay. So at very high temperature limit, at T tends to infinity, so what would happen? Let me tell you. You got a 0 level, okay, E1 which is equal to 0, you got two energy level here. Okay, shall I draw closely spaced two energy level? Both of them have E2 is equal to E2 equal to E. Is it okay? Both of those level. Okay. Now what would happen at very high temperature if you put n number of particle? Very high temperature. We have seen entropy, maximizing entropy, isn't it? N by 3, so n by 3, n by 3, n by 3. That's what I expect. I'm expecting that one. Okay. We shall see that one anyway. So by just doing this one, we shall see that one. Wait a second. When t tends to infinity, yeah, I got it. Beta tends to 0. Isn't it? When beta tends to 0, e power 0, 1. Am I right? So 1 plus 2, log of 2. Am I right? Kb log of 3. Am I right? Kb log of 3. That's what you got, maximum entropy. How did you got that one? Wait a second. Suppose whatever we have done, that's for one particle, isn't it? It's very immaterial to define entropy for one particle. Shall I put n here? Average energy is equal to n into E. Okay? Because for one particle, it's not a good idea to define entropy. Okay? Let us do for n particle. Are you getting my point? For one particle, why would you evaluate entropy, isn't it? Because number of possible microstate, Kb log of number of possible microstate, isn't it? You will not call that single particle energy level as microstate. Okay, when you have a total system, individual distribution, those things are called as microstate. Okay, so that's why I don't again define entropy for single particle. Again, you can do for single particle, but multiply by n, isn't it? Because average energy is multiplied by n. Am I right? Log of z, that's also multiplied by n for n particle system. Okay. Now, when t tends to infinity, look at here, e power 0. Am I right? What would happen to this part? Okay, beta is multiplied, isn't it? Yeah, that part is 0. Your entropy, I mean maximum entropy, it will tends to n kb. That's what I was expecting. Or you can write this one as kb log of 3 power n. It doesn't matter. All those above two energy levels are merged. It does matter how many states you have, isn't it? You have 3 states. That's why maximum entropy turns out to be like this. Is that okay? Yeah. So now I remember one more fact here. We shall do that now. In the next chapter, while distributing the particle, quantum particle, we write the energy level like this when it is degenerate, okay? So that we should not miss that state. One you better write 1, 1, other 1 minus 1. But both of them have the same energy. E2 is equal to E. Is that okay? We write like this. So that we should not miss those state, okay? Even though they have the same energy level. Yeah, any question? Yeah? T tends to 0, it will tends to 0. Because so this will, when t tends to 0, beta tends to infinity, e raised to minus infinity tends to 0, log 1, 0. Is that okay? So when t tends to 0, okay, beta is tending to infinity. Second part. Yeah. Exponential is always dominating actually. Exponential is always dominating. Yeah, that's correct actually. Okay. Exponential will drag that one to 0. Is that okay? Beta into e raised to minus beta e. Just try to plot x e power minus x curve. You know how it would look? It will go to 0 when x tends to infinity actually. Yeah, I mean, you should know that nature of that graph. I think we had the similar thing in case of hydrogen atom wave function, isn't it? R into e power minus something r. So that will go to 0 when it tends to infinity, okay? Yeah, exponential is dominating, so remember that fact. So anyway, so remember, I told the logic behind this one, low temperature and high temperature, okay? So now you have T tends to 0, am I right? What would happen? All particle will come here, N1 is equal to N, N2 nearly equal to 0, N3 nearly equal to 0. When T tends to infinity, don't take all particle to higher level. What would happen? N1 nearly equal to N by 3. That's our maximum entropy condition. Is that okay? So N2 nearly equal to N by 3. So N3 nearly equal to N by 3. Maximum entropy condition. Yeah, is that okay now? Yeah, now I remember one more property of entropy. I think it's derived somewhere here, okay? Yeah, I have energy levels, okay? I mean, so E1, E2, E3, E4 and so on, okay? How do you write partition function? E raised to minus beta, so summation over R e raised to minus beta ER, okay? Suppose I'm not taking degeneracy into account, okay? I'm trying to explain some other part, some other property, okay, of entropy, look at here. So now, again, what is your average energy? How do you write? Minus dou by dou beta, so ln of z, am I right? Ln of z, is that okay? So now what I take here, the same energy level, I'm going to add a constant to each energy level. Is that okay? So E1, this energy level is shifted. E2, this energy level shifted. Is that okay? So shifted here, like that, okay? So E1 plus A, E2 plus A, E3 plus A, E4 plus A. Is that okay? So now what is your new Z? What's your new Z? Summation over R, e raised to minus beta, ER plus A. I can take e raised to minus beta A outside, summation over R, e raised to minus beta ER. What is this one? Z prime is equal to e raised to minus beta A into Z. What is E prime, average E prime? U into V formula? Take U into V formula? No, better, yeah, you have to put log, sorry. I have to put log, isn't it? So what is log of z prime? So minus beta a plus log of old z. Am I right? So that's why average is equal to, it's very obvious, okay? For earlier average, it is added, okay? Average e prime is equal to derivative with respect to beta, am I right? So a plus average e, that will be obvious fact. Is that okay? But what is S dash? S dash is equal to kb ln of z dash plus beta e dash. Shall I write like this? Entropy in this case. Yeah, what is ln of z dash? What is ln of z dash? Minus beta a plus ln of z plus, what is e dash? What is e dash? A plus, I'm running out of space. Can you see this one? Minus beta a plus beta a. Kb ln of z plus beta e bar unprimed s prime equal to s. Then what does that s depends on? It depends on number of energy level, number of states. Better to say like that, because earlier we had these analysis, isn't it? Number of states. It doesn't matter how far they are. So where are they? Okay, it doesn't matter where are they. I think so. I haven't left any theoretical part here. Let me give hint to that hanging chain problem. Okay, hanging chain problem, and similar problem is there in the next chapter. Is that okay? They may design question, be careful, adding constant to every energy level, that will increase average energy, obviously, because average energy is a physical quantity, but that will not increase entropy. It purely depends on how individual particles are distributed over the energy levels, okay? Yeah. Yeah, let me give hint for some more problem. We had that I have uploaded, isn't it? Yeah. So two-level system, I think we have done that one, okay? So take third problem, okay? First and second problem we shall see later, okay? This MIT Princeton question. 1, 2, third question, two-level system. Consider a system composed of very large number of distinguishable atoms at rest and mutually non-interacting, each of which only two energy level, 0 or E. Let E by N is mean number per atom in the limit n tends to infinity. What is the maximum possible value of E by M in the system if the system is not necessarily in thermodynamic equilibrium? For thermodynamic equilibrium, compute the entropy per atom as a function of E by N. Can you try that one? Two-level system. Let me try it tomorrow. So next question, zipper problem. When it is not in thermodynamic equilibrium, what is the formalism you use? when it is not in thermal equilibrium. If it is in thermal equilibrium, we have to use our canonical distribution formula, isn't it? Yeah, think over it. Yeah. So next one, this zipper problem. A zipper has n links. Each link has a state in which it is closed with the energy 0 and state which is open with the energy E. Okay. We require that zipper only unzip from one side. So say from the left, and the link can only open if all links to the left are already opened. Okay. So this model is sometimes used for DNA molecule. Look at here. It's a very practical model. Find the partition function. It has got n links. Okay. It has got n links. So first link, yeah, you can open first link. Second link can be opened if first link is open. Third link can be opened if first two links are open. Isn't it like that? From one side. Okay. Very obvious fact. Wait a second. Now, what is the question? Here is the question. Find the partition function. How do you find partition function? Summation over all possible energy level, isn't it? What are the possible energies? What are the possible energies? So zip may be closed, then energy is 0. First link may be open, then energy is E. So first two links can be open, then energy is 2E. Am I right? So when 0 link is open, energy is 0. When first link is open, energy is E. When first two links are open, energy is 2E. And so on. When n links are open, energy is n into E. Isn't it? Those are the possible energies. That's what he's trying to say. Now, how do you find partition function? Summation over r e raised to minus beta er equal to 0 e to e, like that. So what is this one? 1 plus e raised to minus beta e plus e raised to minus 2 beta e plus and so on up to e raised to minus. Wait a second. If you got any confusion, write like this. Okay. So number of links open. So energy. So 0, 0, 1, E. Two links are open, 2E. Like that. Is that okay? Now you need a geometric progression. Sum of n values, isn't it? How do you find? How do you find that one? A plus AR square plus and so on up to 1, 2, 3 A r power n or n minus 1, nth term, n minus 1, am I right? This is summation over nth term, am I right? What is this one? A into 1 minus r raised to n divided by 1 minus r. R should be less than 1. So what is S infinity? A by 1 minus r, isn't it? But here you have this many terms. Be careful. Can you just apply this one? You can write this one in terms of this one. Because you can write this one as, look at here, this one, e raised to minus beta e raised to minus beta e the whole square, e raised to minus beta e the whole cube, e raised to minus beta e whole power n, okay? Yeah, try to apply your geometric progression. And what is the second part of the question? Yeah, find the average number of open links. How do you find? Just a hint, okay? What is the probability corresponds to this one? Yeah, e raised to 0 divided by z. Am I right? What is the probability corresponds to this one? E raised to minus beta e divided by z. This one e raised to minus 2 beta a divided by z. Am I right? I'm writing probability of occupation, isn't it? So this is actually so n is n1, n2, or like that. Shall I write like that? No, or yeah, n equal to 0, 1, 2, like that, isn't it? Now how do you find average number? Yeah, let me write n1, n2, n3, like that. Okay. So what is this one? nr PR. Am I right? nr into PR. Now I think that would be arithmetico-geometric series. Am I right? And we ended up with the same series somewhere else. Do you remember? What is this one? First is 0. 0 into probability. So anyhow, okay. So what is the second one? What is the second one? 1 into e raised to minus beta e. 1 by z shall I take out? Plus 2 into e raised to minus, plus 3 into e raised to minus. Yeah, this is arithmetical geometric series. Can you just find? I think we ended up with the same thing somewhere else. Last one is n e raised to minus n beta e. This is arithmetic progression, other is geometric progression. And show that for low temperature, n is independent of total number of links. Can you try this one? Just search in Google what is the sum over n term in arithmetico-geometric series. Is that okay? Or any idea? Any idea? Yeah, we had this problem in some harmonic oscillator summations, isn't it? But there it was decreasing very rapidly. Yeah, let it be. Now look at here, wait a second. So one more hint, okay? So can you do this one? So let me do it later, okay? Again. Now that hanging chain problem, okay? Hanging chain problem, find the partition function and all, okay? The upper end of the hanging chain is fixed while lower end is attached to a mass m. Is that okay? So upper end is fixed here. So it will be like this. The chain will be like this. It can be neither two states, okay? Either like this, or like this, okay? And you have mass here, you have mass here, m here, okay? And he has given the dimension, okay? He has given dimension. So this length is L minus a, am I right? L minus a, this length is L plus a. Assume that chain has n links, okay? And it is in thermal equilibrium at temperature T. Find the partition function. Now the main point here is the definition of energy. How do you define energy, isn't it? To define partition function, you need energy, am I right? You have n link. Now look at here, each link have got two states. Either it can be like this or it can be like this. Can you see that one? Each link have two states. Either it can be like this or it can be like this. You need to define those two energies. That's it. Again, I got n links. Each link can occupy two possible energy levels. Okay. And you need to define that energy. Okay. So that energy level, so that is defined like this. Look at here. So when a link is like this, that okay, you have mass m here, okay? You have mass m here, so that m into g is dragging. That okay, m into g is a force, isn't it? It's a kind of force into this displacement. Okay, that energy should be written like a kind of force into this displacement. What is this displacement? L plus A, am I right? So what is the force you are drawing? M into G, okay? And you have to write this energy E1 as minus mg L plus A with one more negative sign. And I couldn't interpret this one. Why we have to take it negative? Is that okay? And second choice is, again, it can align like this, isn't it? Link can align like this. In that case, when link aligns like this, so what is this length? L minus A. Again, it is dragged by m into G by the force at the end, isn't it? So then you are going to define other energy that's equal to minus mg L minus A. And yeah. So if you got any interpretation, just comment. Is that okay? Yeah, it is related to potential energy, definitely. I mean, we need to locate our origin in such a way that it happens. Yeah, so what is the idea? When the reference is this one, then negative, I mean, whenever you have this much length, potential energy will be negative, isn't it? When the reference is this point. When it is ground, you are measuring height, isn't it? Yeah, like that. Yeah, like that you can assume. But different links, I mean, they are at a different distance from that origin. Again, that's the confusion. I mean, will you relocate your origin again for each link like that? Again, yeah. So after classical mechanics, I think we may have some more idea, okay? Because we will handle this kind of problem. I mean, choice of origin, defining potential, or for a different problem, okay? For a time's sake, so take energy like this and proceed. Find the partition function for n link. You can find partition function for 1, you can make it power n. Are you getting my point? Find partition function for one link. One link can occupy these two levels, isn't it? Find the partition function for 1 and make it power n, okay? Now wait a second. How do you find average energy? Look at here. So he said, first question is partition function. Find the average length of the chain. How do you find average length? Because once you have this kind of distribution, you can find average energy. That's the very quickly you can find it. Wait a second. While writing partition functions, try to write in terms of, I think, hyperbolic functions. Okay, that's better. You can write in terms of hyperbolic function by taking something common. Okay, so that you can take derivative quickly. Look at here. Look at here. How do you find the average length? How do you find average length? Look at here. Energy is equal to some minus mg into some length. Let me write d. Either L plus A or L minus A. Am I right? If you take this average, you will get this average. Am I right? So this d average is equal to E average divided by m into g. That's for one link, isn't it? That's for one link. I have taken small e. So now, how do you write? So capital E bar, you can write this one as minus mg into L bar. Individual energy can be written as minus mg into length. Similarly, total average energy can be written as mg into average L. That you will get total average energy by this formalism. and treat that total average energy as minus mg into average length, and average length will be minus average energy by m into g. Actually, I had some other argument here. Yeah, let it be. So do it in this way. It's very better to relate whatever the quantity he has to average energy, because we were practicing finding average energy, isn't it? Are you getting my point? Finding log z and taking beta derivative, that was easy step actually. Yeah. And similar problem is a molecular chain. Next problem, try that one. Similar problem. He mentioned force. In this case, he hasn't mentioned force, but he mentioned we are putting one mass here. These rings are massless. Okay. In the next problem, he mentioned force F. Again, force into displacement. So write that one as energy. Again, put one more negative sign. Okay. So try next problem in the similar manner. Yeah, so tomorrow let me do that continuous probability distribution, and we shall try to touch that one into Maxwell distribution, okay? Maxwell velocity distribution. Any question? I mean, you should not go for, I told that one earlier, physical significance of entropy, because you are not going to measure entropy in lab. So I told in the very beginning, entropy is a mathematical quantity, pure mathematical quantity. Is that okay? So entropy equal to 0 means log of omega equal to 0. Log of omega equal to 0 means omega equal to 1. There is only one possible microstate, corresponds to that total macroscopic property. Then entropy is 0. Suppose all are spin up along external magnetic field, isn't it? You don't have to take permutation or combination, isn't it? If suppose, so out of 100 spin up atom, if suppose 40 are spin up, 50 are spin, so 60 are spin down, then you need to take permutation. I mean, you need to take, so whether first one is spin up, second one is spin up, like that, isn't it? So if all are spin up, then what is the total number of possibility? Only one, isn't it? So then we say entropy is 0. I mean, means if you want to define entropy as randomness, there is no randomness if all are aligned along the direction of magnetic field. It's one of the examples. Is that okay? If all particles comes to ground state of some energy level, then so again there is no number of microstate becomes again 1, isn't it? That's what happened in case of two-level system was also. I mean, when temperature tends to 0, all particles are here, 0 particles here. How many possible way of distributing n number of particles in one energy level? Only one possible way. And we say entropy is 0. Is that okay? Yeah. Yeah, try these problems, okay? Try these problems. Somewhere here, I had some other argument here, okay? Let me get you that one, okay, later. Yeah, so somebody is suggesting gravitational pull. That's why the energy should be negative. Can you think like that? When energy will be negative in our case usually? Suppose link, again there are other problems, okay? Let me give you one more problem from the next chapter of Reeve. He talks about rubber band. It can align like this or like this. Okay, when it aligns like this, you will have some negative energy. When it aligns like this, you will have zero energy. There will be no displacement like that. Okay. So in that situation, why when would you define negative energy? How do you interpret negative energy? If I apply force here, if I apply force here, I'm applying force here. This is one a rubber link, suppose link of one rubber. Then to alter this one, you have to supply energy. Am I right? That's why it is in the negative energy. Can I say like that? Are you getting my point? Suppose if you want to make it like this, so where I'm going to assume if a rubber link is like this is of zero energy. If a rubber link is vertical, this is of negative energy. Is that okay? Now to make this link like this, you have to supply energy. That's why its energy is negative, isn't it? Hydrogen atom energy levels are negative. Why? You have to supply energy to remove electron from the orbit, isn't it? That's how you can assume. Okay. Yeah. Again, rough idea. Yeah, along with this hanging chain and this molecular chain problem, so quickly solve before tomorrow morning, quickly solve one more problem from the next chapter, okay, 7th chapter. Problem number 7.5 in 7th chapter, okay, 7.5. A rubber band at absolute temperature T is fastened at one end and support from the other end with weight W. Okay. Yeah, same problem. Okay, same problem. 7.5. That question was there. Okay, in old question paper. Yeah, we shall see tomorrow. I think next two problem we have tried earlier, isn't it? Next two problem. And last problem, you need again continuous probability distribution. In that fine. Last problem, we need continuous probability distribution. Let me define tomorrow, okay?